here today. This is my third year at VECAN, and you've probably heard me say what a big fan Bernie is of town energy committees. He works in a pretty frustrating place known as the U.S. Senate, or U.S. Congress, and I think it's really heartening for him to see the really grassroots work you're doing and the real results you're seeing. As Johanna mentioned, his schedule doesn't permit him to be here today, but he did ask me to read the following letter. It says, "Dear friends, I am very sorry I cannot join you for the annual VECAN conference. Let me thank Johanna Miller and all of you for making this such a successful event for the past 8 years. You are here because you know that climate change is real, that it's largely caused by human activities, and that it's the greatest environmental threat facing the planet. The UN panel on climate change warns that if we don't drastically reduce carbon emissions, the effects of global warming will get much worse by mid-century. While this prognosis is dire, most scientists also agree that we can avoid the worst consequences of climate change if we act boldly. This is why, as your senator, I recently introduced the Keeping the Ground Act, which would stop new fossil fuel projects on all federal lands and waters. And this is why I introduced the End Polluter Welfare Act, which would eliminate subsidies to hugely profitable fossil fuel companies, saving taxpayers billions of dollars that could instead be invested in clean energy. And that is why I'll soon be reintroducing the Carbon Protection Act, which would make polluters pay for the greenhouse gases they produce by putting a national tax on carbon and using some of the revenue to create a climate justice resiliency fund. We also must aggressively transition to a clean energy future by making a huge and sustained investment in energy efficiency and renewable energies. I am fighting to make permanent tax credits that have helped spur on historic investments in solar and wind energy. I'm also working to make sure that all Americans have access to the benefits of renewable energy. My Low-Income Solar Act would help low-income families go solar and enjoy the energy savings. However, while some of the solutions will come from Washington, many will come from the grassroots. I am very proud of your leadership in your committees and in your communities, and I thank you for your hard work, knocking on doors, encouraging neighbors to weatherize, and educating your towns on the benefits of renewable energy. You're not only talking the talk, but you are walking the walk. You clearly understand the moral responsibility we have to do everything possible to ensure our kids, grandkids, and great-grandchildren inherit a planet every bit as habitable as the one we now enjoy. Given the enormity of the problems we face, it's easy to get discouraged, but today's gathering of energy committees gives us hope. Thank you for all you're doing on the ground in Vermont to make our vision for a clean energy future a reality. Sincerely, Bernie Sanders, U.S. Senate.